emails, art journals, art projects, organized planner chic.
Well, hello and welcome to Organized Planner Chic. I'm Lucinda, and if you haven't subscribed already, please do so and select the bell for notifications. Well, before I go any further, as always, I want to be sure and thank all my patrons who support me on Patreon and make it possible to create videos like this. Well, thank you so much. And if you're interested in supporting me on Patreon, just go to patreon.com/organizedplannerchic. Well, today, you guys, I have my bullet journal set up for August, along with my finale for One Book July. And I have to say, of all the One Book Julys I've participated in, and this is the 5th one, I believe it's the 5th one, this one has been the most transformative. It has had the greatest impact on me, and I am so excited about the future, about how I'm going to grow, and just what my story is going to be as a result of reading this book and implementing everything. So I've been bullet journaling for a long time, but this book just added so much insight and showed me why it's valuable to do some of the things that I hadn't done before. All right, you guys, let's get to it. All right, well, let's go ahead and open her up. As you can see, she has definitely grown over time. Look how thick she is. All right, so I made changes in the very front to kind of correspond with how my mind was processing what I was learning from the book. And so this part right here was originally those really flappy couple of pages that are in the very beginning that aren't quite bound like the rest of your journal. You guys know what I'm talking about. So I had information on here, but I had changed it and crossed stuff out and used whiteout over and over as I was processing stuff from reading the book, and so I just cleaned it all up. And so here in the very inside, you know, the hardback part of the book is the information on, you know, my name and how to reach me through all my different social media and all those different platforms in case my book is lost. And then I decided to take that bullet journal method page, not that bullet journal method quick reference guide that I mentioned to you guys in the last video. If you didn't see it, check that out. I'll slide this over so you can see that a little bit better. But this you can get for free from bulletjournal.com when you sign up for the emails, and it was created by Tiny Ray of Sunshine. You can follow her on Instagram, and I just taped it in there on top of that really flimsy page that I was telling you about, and I just highlighted the title and then all of the different parts of the regular collections and so forth. And then right here on this side where she had put how she used the date, she did the day of the week like MON/ and then the calendar date number. But in the book, the way he did it was 2 digits for the month, 2 digits for the day, and then the day of the week in 3 letters. And so I just highlighted that and kind of noted it. And then I added down here and highlighted in pink, I added where she had all of the different bullets and signifiers, and I added the one that he had in the book. I don't know if you can see it down there. Move it up a little bit, sorry about that. Down here at the bottom, a signifier that says tasks assigned to someone else. So I wanted to make sure I got that added in there. And then get centered back over here for you guys. Okay, so some of the stuff that was on the flimsy pages that I covered up that were all marked out and marked up were these titles here: my morning routine, midday, after work, and bedtime. And I just cleaned them up and, you know, updated them based on everything that I finally came up with that was best for me after I made all the changes that I knew were what I needed to do at this time and would work and have been working since I've implemented them. And so these are these routines. And then, so that is just the back of the bullet journal quick reference guide that I taped in. And then this side and this side, this side was, what was this side? I don't even know. I can't tell if it was taped in. Oh yeah, I know. I'm tired, you guys. It's really early in the morning. I've been up all night. So this was the other side of the flimsy page. So I taped the quick reference guide to the front side of it and just folded the extra paper, and this is the other side of that blank flimsy page. Okay, it's strong now because there's that nice cardstock that I printed this on. I printed this on cardstock, so and so now it's really strong. And then this was just another set of routines, and these were actually ones that I worked out as part of the exercises for the Bullet Journal Method book, and so they're marked with the page numbers. So my work routine, the daily, the YouTube topics, what I do on Wednesdays, what I do on Fridays, depending on the day, the week of the month, and then the monthly routines for all of the different business areas for me, YouTube, Etsy, and Patreon. And then these are just some new stickers for my Etsy shop. And then I added in a couple of pages. So remember, there are 2 flimsy pages normally in the front of your journal. We've already covered what I did to the first 2, and then these 2 were also marked up as part of, you know, me changing stuff and processing. So I had to cover them, and what I did is I cut out 2 pages from the back of this bullet journal so that I'd still have the dot grid and everything would flow well, and I use the adhesive tape to put those on there. And part of the reason why I wanted to do that is because I wasn't using the other pages of my index as an index previously. So if you've seen my other videos, you know that I've used them or been using it or set it up to use as the year in pictures. So this bullet journal comes with 4 index pages, but I've set up 3 of them to be the year in pictures for me. But I knew I was going to need more index paper because I only had 1 page set up for it. So then I took those pages from the back and, you know, added them back, cut them, glue them, and add them back in here, and then put index at the top there and index at the top there. And so then here in the index, this section, I've added the bullet journal method exercises and resources, and then these are all of the, you know, sub topics and everything that I've worked throughout the book, which was amazing. And then there's another page to do more collections, and then this is the index that I already had that I mentioned last week. And now we're going to just go ahead and go into the flip through of everything that happened in July, including the results of me reading the book, and then my setup for August. I should have just flipped right to this bookmark that I put in here. Okay, so then this was my goals, which now will be called tasks because they really are tasks. They're not goals, because goals are broken down into, you know, according to the book, sprints and tasks, but normally, historically, I would have had goals, objectives, and tasks. So in any case, these are tasks. These are not goals. But this is how it was set up for July. And then this was my calendar. And today is the 23rd. And then this was my gratitude log and brain dump, which I did return to filling this out, and it was a lot easier to do based on my daily logs, doing them according to the book. And then my brain dump, I won't be having this going forward because I will be processing my brain and dumping it all throughout the day and doing my morning reflections and evening reflections and setting up whatever collections additionally that I don't already have, which, you know, from the previous videos, I have quite a few in the front of my bullet journal. And then, so I won't be having that anymore. This was a day that just was a wash. And then this was my July 8th through 14th week. And this was a pretty typical week for me prior to reading the book, what it would look like, how I had boxes, how I X'd stuff off, or did an arrow, or did a dot in the middle of a box if it was in process, that kind of thing. This decoration on some level is my aesthetic. It's me. I'm not going to stop doing that for sure. And he welcomes that if that helps you do what you you need to do, and it does for me. This I covered in the last video. Of course, I turned it the other way, but this page was, both of these pages included things I learned from the first 30 pages of the book, and then my mental inventory. And then this was Monday the 15th, was like a regular day, the way prior to reading the book, but starting on the 16th is when I started doing the rapid logging the way he described in the book. And of course, I've got my little things that represent what happened, my little scraps and doodles that represent what happened during the week or during the days on these pages. Yeah, so you can see how it started to change, the logging. And then this was, and of course this is in the index, this is where I learned from some of the stuff I was reading that about limiting decision making and, you know, saving time, less things to worry about because time is precious. And so I started laying out some things that I was doing, things I could do differently or not do to limit decision making and save time. And then that's when I broke out these specific routines. Even though I knew a lot of them in my head, there were some that I had not designated really specific times to, and so I set those up. And then here is some really, this is just really showing how my rapid logging was developing, and I was blessed by the things to reflect on and the things that happened that I wouldn't have remembered or thought about that I took note of. And so I started pretty much taking up a whole page for a day. And same thing, continuing here, and then scrapping, you know, some of my experiences or just decorating. This was when I went to my friend's church. And then this was another schedule or routine thing that's in the index. And then this is when I started on the 22nd, and this is a journaling card based on the art on the title page. But this is when I started breaking up time blocks to help me make sure that I'm realizing how long it takes to do things. I used to do this. I did this the first few years I bullet journal. I really don't know why I stopped or what led me to stop. But so I started doing that, and it does fill up more of the page, but it really works for me. And so some bullets or for tasks I may have going horizontally because they relate to what's on the far left. But I've gotten used to that for me, and I know, you know, I can scan and see where there's a dot and still make sure I'm checking off or marking off what I've done and migrating what I haven't. And then I did some full, what do you call it, journaling, full hand journaling. Yeah, and so then this continues. So this is actually today, even though it's early the next morning. So I've got some things to check off on there. And then these were the rest of the exercises that I had for goals. All of those goals exercises that are in the book that break down what is your goal, and then break it down to 5 years, 4 months, 3 weeks, 2 days, and 1 hour. And then you had to choose, what do we have to do? Oh, you had to do all the goals. And then you had to take those, oh, I know. Yeah, you had to do all the goals. And then you had to take those and break them up into this 5. Sorry, my camera died there for a moment. Okay, so on the goals exercise, you had to write down every goal that you could think of. And then after that, we divided them by personal and professional, and then divide those up by 5 years, 4 years, 3 weeks, 2 days, and 1 hour from now. So that's how this exercise went. And then you had to prioritize one personal and one professional in each of those timed categories. And then you set up a set of questions to help you create sprints, which were like smaller projects within the goal, and then you would take the sprints and make tasks. So I just kind of outlined it because I was never going to finish read the book if I got all of that done for mine, but I set it all up for each of those goals. And that's where all of these pages are. And then there was also a learning one in the book that you could create a collection for. And so I started doing that of things that I want to learn. So I set those up, and I've started learning Japanese, and I've started learning my silhouette. I just want to learn it better. I just want to be really good at it. So I have these different things for that I'll be working through, and then a clarity log. And the clarity log was about different things in life that you don't like to do, that seem to be just things that you rather not have to do in your life, that maybe you tend to procrastinate, and then you can create some clarity for how those are beneficial to your life, why it's worthwhile to do them, to have a better picture of, you know, just not procrastinating but doing those things first. So I haven't done that yet, but I'm going to work that out, and I marked pages for that. And then I just left what I thought would be enough pages, pretty much one full page a day for the rest of the month, since today is the 23rd. And then we get to my August setup, and this is my August title page, which is available, or will be available if it's not by the time the video publishes, but it should be available by then. I'm 99% sure I will have it all set up in my Etsy shop as a printable and as one that you can receive by mail on a 100-pound semi-gloss cardstock. And then this is how I set up. So I know normally with his method you would just put August at the top and write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 all the way down to 31 on the left, but that is, I just don't visualize that type of calendar very well. So I went ahead and set it up like I did, but I didn't take 2 pages because I don't really need that. I just did one on the left, so I can still kind of have that set up where I have one on the left is the days for the month, and on the right are the tasks. And I will use the bullets and, you know, do the arrows and all of that the way he does it for my tasks, like I've been doing on the daily. But I definitely want to continue to break them up by personal, business, Etsy, YouTube, and Patreon like I've been doing. And then did a little washi there, and then the gratitude lock. I'm going to continue to do that. It's so much easier to do that now that I'm doing the daily, so I am grateful for that. And then this will be my first daily, and that's it, you guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope it was beneficial to you. It's been tremendously beneficial for me to read this book and really just have some perspective on rapid logging and capturing what's happened during the day, and being able to see things that I can be grateful for, and being able to see patterns and things that I need to do differently. Like I put some stuff on here about my meals, because a lot of carbs really bother me. I can only have a certain number or amount of heavy things like breads and stuff during the day, and so making sure that I count rice as part of that. If I have rice during the day, then I can't also have bread. It just doesn't work well for me. So I saw that as part of this rapid logging. I noted some stuff that just an experience about the art that I did that I didn't like, but then something that was positive that came out of it. Working those goals was amazing. I mean, just learning from the book how hard it is to accomplish things. Even though you know it, it's different when you're really looking at it in a big picture and then breaking that down, that you really have to limit how many things you're focusing on, even when you think there's not very many. Just having it in your face, it can be hard. And so he was like, once you prioritize which ones you're going to work on, don't look back at that page at all until you've done what you're going to work on right now. So that was so helpful. The book was just amazing, about perspective, about meaningfulness. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. All of my subscribers get an additional discount from my Organized Planner Chic Etsy shop, and that discount is in the comments below, or actually the description below. Also follow me on Instagram at Organized Planner Chic, and I have a Facebook group called Organized Planner Chic Crew, where we do frequent giveaways and birthday and gift exchanges. And I also have a business page called The Organized Planner Chic, but the group is Organized Planner Chic Crew. And if you're interested in supporting me on Patreon, just go to patreon.com/organizedplannerchic. And until next time, happy planning!